What's up, friends? Dr. Hannah here, and in this video, I'm taking you through a very gentle, a very simple, and easy movement practice. I will be guiding you from this futon right here because ideally, you can do this from the comfort of your own bed. Starting our day with movement sometimes sounds impossible or stressful because it implies we have to get up out of bed and go move. What if we didn't have to get up and get out of bed and we could still move? I think for me, that just provides a bigger window into the opportunity of starting my day with movement. And not just movement, because we're not just moving in this practice. We're tuning our attention inward, we're taking deeper breaths, and we're really connecting with ourselves. We're starting our day in a state of essentially parasympathetic tone. We're starting from ease as opposed to starting from stress. And if that sounds like something that would meet your needs, especially this season, go ahead and meet me in the comfort of your own bed. I will be right here, and let's get into it. We're going to start from the comfort of our back. Have a bend in the knees here, having the feet on the bed. If you'd like, you can let the knees rest together against each other. And I invite you to bring one hand somewhere near the chest, maybe near the diaphragm, the low rib cage, and the other hand on the low belly, kind of on that squishier part. And from here, go ahead and soften the eyes down to be closed or just in a soft stare. We're going to begin by taking some deep, filling breaths. And underneath your hands, notice the expansion of the belly, of the ribs. Really connecting here first and foremost to the sensations of breath and how the breath itself generates movement. If you notice here that the mind is kind of wandering into what the day is going to look like, or what yesterday looked like, or what's going on around you right now, I guess I just noticed that. And by giving it something else to pay attention to, such as the breath or the rising and falling of our belly, see if we can just tune into the present. You don't have to stop all thought. You can figure out how to do that. Call me. But noticing the wandering and then choosing to pay attention to what's here right now, such as the breath, that itself is enough. So keep those breaths going, keep them deep, but not too forceful. You're going to start to bring the knees into the chest, maybe hug them with the hands. Maybe mirror me here. We're going to rock side to side. Maybe you feel a sensation of like massaging your low back into the bed. Or you're enjoying just kind of this gentle twist sensation that you get when the knees shift from one side to the other. The idea here is gentle movement to awaken the body. And so maybe challenge yourself here. Go slow. Slower than you think you can go. And see how present you can be in each moment of this very slow movement. Alrighty. Let the left leg straighten. Hug the right knee into the chest. Maybe give it a good squeeze. And if you'd like, you can straighten the leg here, wrapping the fingers behind the right thigh. And go ahead and circle the ankle. Draw circles with the ankle going clockwise, counterclockwise. It's nice to move these weight-bearing joints without bearing weight on them. Gosh, they do so much for us. Nice to let them express freely without also having to bear the load. Start bringing those circles to the knee here. So that might sound silly because the knee tends to only go in one direction and then the other, extension and then flexion. But imagine here with the whole right foot like you're drawing a circle in the air. And in doing so, it is as if you are creating circles in the knee joint. Again, just allowing this joint that normally bears quite the load, supports standing and squatting and kneeling, giving it an opportunity to move without the load, move without the stress. And you guessed it, we're going to move up the leg into the hip joint. So we're going to start drawing circles with the hip, going soft here. Maybe you don't need your hands to support this circular movement. And maybe it would be best if you supported the leg through its circles with the hands. It all depends on where you're at in the morning, the nature of your hips in general. Feel into each and decide what's best for you. If you've kind of lost those breaths, this is a great time to bring the attention back to breathing deeper and reversing your circles if you haven't done so already. And again, this is simple. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Go ahead and let the knee come into the chest, give it a good squeeze, and then let it go long. Hug the left knee into the chest, a nice squeeze here, and then some ankle rolls. You can straighten the leg, let the ankle or the foot reach towards the ceiling here. You can also keep it bent. Noticing the sensations in these joints, giving them your attention. How often are you like, hey foot, how you doing during your day? This is like perfect moment to spend time with your body in ways that you don't normally think to. Alrighty. Bringing that movement up to the knee. Remember, we're just kind of like drawing circles with our whole foot. It's as if we have a Sharpie sticking out of our heel, and in front of us is like a giant piece of paper somehow, and we're drawing a circle on that paper with the Sharpie in our heel. For me, I'm supporting the leg behind the hamstring. You can also support the leg just with its own muscular engagement, i.e. not using hands. Again, just noticing what you need, what you don't need, and choosing appropriately. I don't know if you've reversed your circles yet, but go ahead, do that. Taking the opportunity to say, hi, knee. Thanks. Thanks for all you do. Get you ready to do it again today. Alrighty, again, moving those circles towards the hips now. Use your hands. Go hands free. Try a little bit of both. Reverse your circles. And lengthen those breaths. Alrighty, bend the left knee, squeeze it in towards the chest. And again, let it go long. Bring the hands back to the low belly and the low ribs. Come back to the breath. When you're ready, we're going to squeeze the knees back in towards our chest. And from here, we're going to roll to one side or the other, making our way up to a kneeling position, sitting on our feet. If you would prefer to sit upon your bum, feel free. I even invite you using a pillow here. That'd be real nice. So in this kneeling position, we're going into our child's pose. So if you are crisscross applesauce, all we are doing is folding forward from a kneeling position, folding forward here. And scoop back just to be more in the camera. And those breaths here can be really important. Feel free to soften the head all the way down into the bed. I'm going to keep mine lifted just so the audio doesn't get muffled. But if I did not have a microphone and I were doing this in my bed, I would really enjoy the sensation, it's going to sound silly, of rubbing my face into the bed. Always liked doing that for whatever reason since I was a kiddo, rubbing my face into something soft. So if that calls to you here, please feel free. So like I said, those breaths are going to be very important here. As you fill the lungs on an inhale, you can really feel the rib cage expand through the back body. And it's like the breath is the stretch here. Of course, you might feel the stretch in the legs, in the hips, in the back. But the breath is a movement generator of its own. And if you've looked at the camera, or I should say, if you've looked at the video, notice I've got this gentle sway side to side, and I invite you to do the same. So you might be fully relaxed, fully folded forward into the bed. You might be supported on your forearms. And wherever you're at, I just invite you to sway side to side. Whatever that means for you, wherever you have sway available. Something I enjoy about a rocking motion like swaying is that it allows me to tune in to sensations that I don't know if I would otherwise feel if I were just completely still. So it just adds a bit of texture to my sensational experience. Not to mention it helps me work through some tightness so I can fully surrender into a position. Alrighty, from here, we're going to walk our hands over to the right of us, and we're going to enjoy this stretch through our left side body. Again, I'm staying upright for the convenience of your listening pleasure. If I were you, without a microphone, I would fully lean into the bed here. Really squash my torso down and reach through the left fingertips. Big breath here, especially imagining you can breathe more air into the left lung and expanding through that left side body. If you liked those sways and you can find yourself swaying here, by all means, please do. One more big breath in here. And on the exhale, go ahead and walk the hands over to the right. Or the left. You know what I mean. The right side is the side that's going to experience that deep stretch. You're really going to reach the right fingertips far away from you, enjoying the pull from fingertip to right scapula, right side body. And again, allowing the breath to deepen the stretch here. One more good inhale here. And on the exhale, walk your hands back. Allow them to support you as you rise up into a seated position. You can stay here where the knees are bent and you're seated on the heels, or you can make your way into a seated cross-legged position. Again, I just recommend having some support under the booty in the form of a pillow or a blanket. Help you keep nice and tall. And so in the seated position, we're going to enjoy some movement through the spine. And so on our inhales, we're going to feel the whole system lengthen upwards and a little bit backwards. Perhaps hook your hands on your knees to support a leaning backwards. And on the exhales, we're reversing, rounding forward into flexion. Go slow here. I suggested that the inhales take you backwards into a tall extension, and the exhales take you forward into some flexion. But perhaps you'd like to go slower, and you linger in each position for a couple breaths. This movement is all about you. This morning opportunity of tuning in has nothing to do with correctly following a video and everything to do with you choosing to drop in, give yourself movement, and choosing to start the day just a little bit differently, a little bit more honor, a little bit more love for self. Once you've had your fill, come back to center, Nice upright spine. And from here, I invite you to go palms up. Again, keeping the eyes either in a soft stare or shut. And with the palms up and the chest tall, we're going to inhale here. And on the exhale, dip the right ear towards the right shoulder. You can hang out here kind of statically, really feeling that stretch on the left side. Or you can shake your head, and maybe shake isn't the right word here. Gently roll your head in a yes and no, or this is just yes. It's hard to tell when your head's sideways. In a yes position, nodding your head. Tuning into that sensation on the left side. And just for fun, bring your attention to like the hips, maybe the groin area or the pelvic floor. See if you can bring some softness there. Maybe there's some subconscious holding on. See if you can just say, hey, I see you. You don't need to hold things together for me. I got it. Alrighty, again, once you've had your fill, coming back to center. Inhaling, getting tall through the spine. And then the exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Again, enjoying a nice stretch on the opposite side of the neck from what you're leaning towards. You can stay static here, or you can start to nod the head. And maybe something comes over you here. The desire to not follow rules or to make your own way. And you just want to start doing some head circles. By all means. Again, this is your practice. Your day you're starting, not mine. In this video, it's not about following rules. Alrighty, coming back to center here. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I move my head a lot and I get really deep into the stretches of the neck, I sometimes feel dizzy. And so if that's you here, if you're feeling a little dizzy or like unstable, we're going to move into something that is a little more rooting, a little more grounding, and that is to return to the position in which we started. And so make your way back onto your back. A bend in the knees. One hand to low belly, one hand to low chest or low ribs. Then taking a few breaths to just recenter. We are almost through guided practice for you to start your day. And then these last few poses or positions or movements, really tune in or come in, if you will, to the body. Inhabit and embody the system as much as you can. Alrighty, with the knees bent, I invite you to find a position of the feet somewhere far enough away from the hips, but not too far to where you can't feel yourself capable of pushing the feet down and lifting the hips up. So we're going to move into a bridge here. And what I'm essentially suggesting is there's a ideal place for your feet to be, and I don't know what that is for you. I can't know, but you do. And so feel free to mess around with where the feet are positioned. And whenever you feel like you've got it, or at least you got something for now, we're going to push our feet into the bed, squeeze our glutes just a little bit, and we're going to lift the hips into this bridge pose. And it's up to you here how you choose to experience the bridge. You can choose a couple lower and lifts, and you just want to move through those two positions. Great. Another option here is if you walk the feet just a bit closer to the tush, and you lift the hips up and point the knees forward, you're going to feel a nice stretch through the quads. And maybe this is what you want out of this. Maybe you want a nice front body opener. And if that's the case, you can either hold here, or again, you can move through the lowered position and the lifted position, breathing, mind you, all the way through. And one final option here, feet placed wherever. You're going to lift the hips, and if you really want to enjoy the back bend, you're going to walk the shoulders a bit more underneath you. And as you press through the hips, you're going to let that lift translate up the spine into a little bit of extension. So the back is lifted, and you're just being supported by the feet, the shoulders, and the head. And you can hold that, or you can move through the lowered and lifted position. Whatever works for you here, enjoy it while it lasts. If you find yourself complete with the movement or kind of just needing a break, by all means, come back to where we began, knees bent, hands on our body, breathing deeply. If you'd like to continue with the bridges, please do. Maybe let them be your gateway into the day, as they are inherently more invigorating, more activity inducing, engaging than the rest of our positions. And when it's time for you to settle back down, we're all going to meet in the position we began in, lying on our backs, knees bent, hands on our torso. As you have finished your morning movement, all from your bed. And truly, this is something to be proud of. Oftentimes we think when things are simple or when they're easy, that it didn't take any work or didn't take any effort. And I challenge that here. It does take work, it does take effort to tune into the system, remember to come back to the breath. It takes effort to remember to slow down and consider the subtleties of our experience. And you've already exercised that pathway for yourself today. So my hope is moving forward throughout your day, you can remember and utilize this pathway in different moments, in different contexts, not just in the bed. I thank you for joining me in this practice, and I sincerely thank you for doing this for yourself. Again, you never know how far-reaching a practice such as this can go. Have a blessed rest of your day.